Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Reverend Dr. Alan Green, candidate for State Auditor, today on The Bernie Hayes Show. Hello and welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes, and my guest is Alan K. Green. Dr. Green, how are you?
I'm fine. It's wonderful to be here.
It's good to be here. I hope people don't mind me calling you Alan because we know each other for so long, we know each other so well. But, I don't know whether I call you former Representative Alan, Reverend Alan, former police officer Alan. You've done so many things, Alan K. Green. Gee whiz. I mean, just a list of some of them. It says, University of Texas at Tyler, BS in Criminal Justice and American Diplomacy. National Louis University, Master's Degree, Management and Development and Human Resources. Lindenwood University, MBA, Management and Business Administration. United Theological Seminary, PhD, Doctor. Green there. Servine Bible College, St. Louis. Emerging Leader Program, Executive Management Program. University of Virginia Business, University of Virginia. Chief Executive Officer, Green & Associates, LLC. Chief Financial Officer, CFO for the Missouri Minority Business Development Agency. Missouri State Representative from 2014 to 2021. You were my state rep then, 67th District in St. Louis County. Chair of the Missouri Legislative Black Caucus, 2016-2018. And you guys got a lot done too. I don't want to compliment you on that. Served on the Financial and Finance, Banking, Economic Development, and Workforce Committees. Former Assistant Director of Missouri Department of Social Services and Advisor to the Governor. And former Director of the Office of Equal Opportunity, State of Missouri. Gee whiz, Alan Green, Alan K. Green, Reverend Green, Dr. Green. Goodness. One more legislator Green. Alan, what's your mission now? Why are you seeking auditor to be an auditor for the state of Missouri?
Well, it's a great opportunity, and one of the things that the Democratic Party is doing right now is actually holding that seat. Nicole Galloway is the auditor, and she is the only one that holds a seat statewide. And so, of course, the Democrats want to hold that particular seat as the auditor. And one of the things is that it's an honor to be asked to do it. They always say when opportunity, and experience meet, they call that luck. Well, mine is opportunity and experience meeting right now and preparation to go for that particular seat. Over the years, as you read my bio, I've been doing a lot of things, but one of the top things has been also management. And so I'm a manager. When I put my company together, which is Green & Associates, we concentrate on bonding and financing. But the bonding part, a bond is put in place to make sure that things are correct. And if anything goes wrong, that bond makes sure it's taken care of anything that happens if something goes wrong. The same thing with the auditor's position. The auditor comes in, and basically the state auditor works with all 20 departments, and they also do the municipalities, they do the courts, they do all of those areas to make sure that our finances are in order. And the auditor is the chief financial officer for the state of Missouri. So with my experience and that I bring to the table, I bring all of that and more to make sure that our finances for the state of Missouri are in order.
Yeah, you mastered so many different degrees and also, workplace opportunities. Lindenwood University MBA, Management and Business Administration, wow. And the National Louis University Master's Degree, Management and Development and Human Resources. So this certainly qualifies you to be the auditor of the state of Missouri. But now you started on in law enforcement. Tell us why you switched.
Well, me and you, as you stated, go way back. And, I was a St. Louis police officer for many years, and I had a chance to do many different things with the police department. I was also on the street, but I worked in the juvenile division. I had a chance to also participate in the police academy. I did the PSAs, and I actually did movies for the St. Louis Police Department. So I had a wide range of working in the police department. Even working with DEA on the police department and making sure that when drugs and alcohol and gangs came into the community, I participated in all of that and more too. So I had a wide range of law enforcement. And what I'd like to say too is that I have 3 sons that are police officers now. You know, I have one in St. Louis City, I have one in St. Louis County, and I have one in Conyers, Georgia. I'm very proud that they're following that legacy of mine, and one day, if they decide that they want to move on, this is a great, great opportunity because it gives back to the community, making sure our community is safe.
You know, this is such a small world. You always were in touch with your constituents. When you were state legislator, when you were the representative for the 67th district, you always, coalesce with those around you. You even brought some people down to the National Black Radio Hall of Fame at Harris Stowe State University. And the funny thing about that is that the national vice president of the National Black Radio Hall of Fame is in Conyers, Georgia, where your son is a police officer. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I mean, it's such a small, small world. And Alan, I always notice that your constituents, you're always right there with them. You guide them, and when they call you, not like other state representatives were, you would always answer the phone. Why is that?
Well, that is so important. It's just like the phone number that I have on my card right now, that goes directly to me. Because it is important to make sure that your constituents, you can reach out to them, but they can also reach out to you. One of the key factors that I always enjoyed is being in the community. That is one of the things that I would like to bring to the auditor's position, is that a lot of times when I walk around now, Nicole Galloway has done a wonderful job, so don't get me wrong. But I want to be in the community statewide. I want people to know who Alan Green is. I want people to say, well, I can call on the phone and this guy is going to respond to me. That is so important to me. And the auditor's office, if you ask people right now, they say, well, what does the auditor do? So if you have an accounting background or you have a management background, you know what the auditor does. But I want to be more than that. I want to get into the community. I want to have that extension of that office into the community. And you just stated there, that's so important.
Mm-hmm. You said that you wanted to provide independent oversight that answers to the people of Missouri. Now, exactly explain what that means, independent oversight.
When you talk about independent, is that, again, that office is the third from the governor's office right there, the auditor's position. And it should be independent. It should be something that, again, makes sure that it reports back to the community and lets the community knows what's going on. There's many, 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 many facets from a rural to urban, suburban areas in the state of Missouri. And again, the reporting should go back to the community saying what's going on, on a quarterly basis, yearly basis, to let the people know. But stand alone. It should not be just a political office. It should be a standalone office reporting and keeping accountability to the people of Missouri.
How can we reach you and support you if they wanted to?
My number is 314-568-3851.
Well, I forgot to mention that you were a former broadcaster also, so you know how important it is to slow that down, right?
Yeah. I had an opportunity recently to bring that back up, and I got a chance to do a radio program. Yeah. And I did not know I was walking into co-hosting the radio program. I had so much fun.
Yeah. So once again, how can we reach you? Tell us all about it.
Again, my number is 314-568-3851. And I want to hear from you.
You have a website and emails and everything?
Yes. The website is listed as info, I-N-F-O, at Alan, A-L-A-N-K Green, GREEN.com. And my website is www.ALANKGreen.com.
Are you also on Facebook or Twitter or any other platforms?
All of that is going up. Mm-hmm. Again, we've only made this decision within the last 3 weeks, and all of those pieces are going up from the Twitter to the Facebook account to making sure our website is up. We're working on all of that infrastructure as we speak.
Great. Alan Green, Reverend Alan Green, Dr. Alan Green is my guest today. He has so many titles, and we'll be right back. Don't forget now, Reverend Larry Rice has been here 50 years serving those in need, and Alan Green has been a supporter for all that time. We'll be right back with Alan Green after this.
It's so easy to get tired out, burned out, and worn out, and that's why we have to let the rivers of living water flow over us and believe that God is doing a new and great work at this time, standing up to the oppressors that come from every different direction, having God wash us from clean from all the fears, the worries, the uncertainties, the what-ifs, and stand up for justice at this moment. Justice doesn't mean just us. It means letting the rivers of living water flow through us as we get in touch with God. This past week, I've been reading a book on George Washington Carver, a great man who had every excuse in the world just to kind of go through life. But instead, when he saw a problem, he cried out to God and believed Him for a solution. He cried out to God at a young age, said, Lord, show me your universe. And He said, it's too great and too big for you. Well, Lord, show me man, how he's made up. He said, that's too big for you. And then he said, Lord, show me a peanut. Show me how a peanut's made up. And what did He do? God used that man to turn the South upside down as He came up with all these different usages for the peanut. And instead of just growing cotton, they started growing peanuts. And He started showing usage for sweet potatoes and so many other forms of vegetation in life. One man calling out and letting the wisdom of God flow in him and through him. This is the first day of the rest of our lives. So let's give the Lord our life, not our excuses. Let's believe Him, like George Washington Carver did, to do exceedingly abundantly beyond we can even ask or think. This is a glorious day, and He's promised to release His unlimited power in us. He says, ask, it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, it shall be opened unto you. He tells us in John 14:12, behold, I tell you the truth. If you believe in me, Jesus said, you can do the very works I do. Yes, even greater things. I'm going to the Father. Whatever you ask the Father in my name, I will do it. George Washington Carver did that. You and I can do that. We can see the unlimited unlocked in our lives as we stop whining and start becoming winners and let the power of God flow in us and through us.
And welcome back. My guest is Dr. Alan Green. Do they sometimes get you confused with Al Green, Dr. Green?
Yeah, when you grow up with that particular name, especially as a kid, they always call you Al Green. And I grew up with Al Green, so I'm used to it, and it's a flatter. I really appreciate, having that. Because, Reverend Green is also in the ministry, too, so that is an honor.
Okay, we know about the Dr. Green. Tell us about the Reverend Alan Green.
Well, one of the things that I found when we're talking about, again, when God calls you and all the things that you mentioned, being in the community and also being a social worker, I had the opportunity to also work for Lutheran Family and Children's Services, managing many programs, from drug and alcohol programs, which was a national model, to workforce development with Lutheran Family and Children's Services, outreach programs, youth programs, housing programs, you name it, we did it, and I participated. I even helped with the adoptions. Someone recently reminded me that years ago I helped with their daughter being adopted, and it brought back memories I had totally forgotten. And so when you talking about the ministry portion of this and giving back to the community, that is a big component of me too. Even when I was on the police department, I did a lot of that too. As you mentioned, I'm always in the community and I'm always trying to assist and help. So the ministry part is a big part of me. And right now, one of the things I always wanted to do too, especially being in the ministry, is I didn't just want to hear the word, I wanted to also go get educated on the word. And that's why I went into seminary and got my PhD in that area.
Tell us about your family, your wife, children, and so forth.
Well, I don't have a wife, but I was married for 25 years. So yes, I did have a wife. I have 4 children. I have a daughter, which is my oldest. She'll be 39 this year. I have a son that's just turned 33. And then I have one that's 32 and then one that'll be 29 this year. As I stated, my sons are police officers. And I'm very, very flattered that they're following in that lead right there. I'm very proud of them. I have 10 grandchildren. Let me say that again. I have 10 grandchildren. Sometimes I think that they are populating the earth.
Do you interact with them often?
Yes, I do. Matter of fact, Wednesday I was with my granddaughter and I go pick her up, take her to tutoring. I spend time with as many opportunities as I can to play with them, as they say, babysit them, spend Christmas with them. Sometime, I don't know if our audience are familiar with St. Paul Saturdays. I take my grandsons to St. Paul Saturdays. I've been doing that for over 30 years. So my sons came through it. Now my grandsons are coming through it. And so we always get a chance to spend time in the community, but I want my grandsons to be exposed to just more than just what I can give them. And so the mentors that we have with St. Paul Saturdays and the trips that we take and the educational opportunities, we do all of that. And I want my grandkids to be exposed to all of that.
Reverend C. Garnett Hennings was the mentor there at St. Paul Saturdays, and so many other people have followed that program in the Central West End, in the West End of St. Louis. Alan, on your flyer here, it says, being a watchdog will aggressively identify how taxpayer dollars are spent, and also attract the most qualified staff to represent all corners of Missouri. Tell us what those two issues mean.
Yes. First of all, when we say being the watchdog, every single dollar of Missourians is important. Those are our tax dollars. Like right now, we just had the infrastructure bill to be passed by the national government. Missouri is going to get $700 million of that infrastructure money. We already have a surplus that has come through the coronavirus and individuals, that pot of money that has come through and right now sitting with the state of Missouri. So we have a surplus, plus we have $700 million that's coming, okay? That money needs to be watched, managed, and kept up with, because every dollar is important. And every dollar that's spent in all 20 departments, all the municipalities, and when we're talking about the court systems, those dollars are very important. Those are your dollars. Let me just emphasize that. Those are your dollars. And so you make sure, that's what the auditor does, is to keep up and making sure that none of that money is being misspent. One of the things I'm doing right now is working with MoDOT, with the Missouri Minority Business Development Agency, because we're trying to make sure that minorities get access to that money. When I was over the Office of Equal Opportunity, it was always the quote word was shovel ready. And usually when you say shovel ready is when the big boys can participate, because they're ready immediately when a contract comes out. And most minority or women-owned businesses are not prepared to receive a contract immediately. So we're preparing and working with minority and women-owned businesses right now, saying this money is coming down, it will be here, and you need to be ready if you're going to bid on a contract. That's your money, but you need to bid on those projects if you want to grow your business. And so these are the kind of things that I'm really trying to get out into the community and say, these opportunities are here, but if you're not prepared for it, you won't participate. So get prepared.
So you're CEO also of Green and Associates. What is that?
Green and Associates is a bond. What we do is we do bonding and financing. And over the years, how that company was formed is so many times I was at the table in these meetings, and I kept hearing that minorities didn't have access to bonding. They didn't have access to financing. So I formed that particular company to give more minorities and women-owned businesses access to bonding and access to financing. And so many times when we're talking about putting bid bonds together or bonds together, a lot of companies can't. And what I've done is I did my research and found out that a lot of companies, because of their background, credit, and many other reasons, couldn't get access to bonding, couldn't get access to financing. So I found some companies that I could work with that will, again, do hard to place, sometimes bonds and financing, because a lot of times the major companies won't give minorities or women-owned businesses access to those opportunities. And so we do.
As an African-American male, how were some of the obstacles that you faced?
Oh, many of them when we talk about, especially in the business community. I was sitting with some bankers yesterday, and of course, when we're talking about the underwriting, especially when we're talking about, the opportunities for African-American males and females, I'll be honest, because the underwriter will look at a package, and we're talking about what could occur or what might occur, but what should occur. And those are the kind of things that we try to get around, because, again, it should be equal for all people when we're talking about now getting access to bonding and financing and the business opportunities. One of the things that I love to do with the Missouri Minority Business Development Agency is to give those opportunities to minority businesses and to get out here and give them access, again, to bonding and financing for projects, but not only Missouri, but all around the country. And sometimes they even want to go into Africa and other areas to expand.
Mm. So how can they reach you, the ones who support you, and certainly I assume you need donations also? How can they do that?
Well, again, my phone number is 314-568-3851. One of the things that we're going to need is volunteers. We're going to need that, but we're also going to need fundraising too. You know, every dollar is an important dollar. So if you, and I say this, and I learned this with the Obama administration and the way that they also raise money too, it doesn't have to be a $1,000 bill. It doesn't have to be $500. You know, whatever you can give is acceptable. Whatever you could give. I don't care if it's $5, $10, $20, $50, whatever you could give helps me get to where I need to be. Every single dollar is so important because, see, I'm getting ready to run again statewide, and that's what we're preparing to do. That's what we're gearing up to do here. And on the Republican side, this is a red state. And a red state, that means that, again, they're strong in that area of financing. They're strong in that area of holding this particular state. But we want to hold what we have, too, as Democrats. Okay. And so every dollar counts.
We're back with Dr. Alan Green after this.
There are so many women and children experiencing homelessness in the United States and throughout the world. You can be a part of the difference today by partnering alongside New Life Evangelistic Center and the work that they're doing to save women and children's lives who are experiencing homelessness. In St. Louis, we have safe houses where women are able to find the rest that they need and the job training and transitioning from going from homelessness to housed. You can make a difference by partnering with us financially today. Another way you can help is the women and children in India who are experiencing brokenness and hurt and pain. Donate to New Life today to make a huge difference in their lives. There are so many people who are hurting, but you can make a difference in the life of the individual today by partnering alongside New Life Evangelistic Center.
Today's history subject is the Reverend James Cleveland, gospel music legend James Cleveland, born December the 5th, 1931 in Chicago. He sang as a boy, soprano at the Pilgrim Baptist Church, where the music program was headed by Dr. Thomas Dorsey, who many consider the father of modern gospel music. In 1950, Cleveland joined the group known as the Gospel Heirs. Cleveland's first runaway hit Peace Be Still in 1962 on the Savoy record label, sold nearly 1 million copies among a largely African-American audience without promotion. James Cleveland became an ordained minister in the early 1960s, and in 1969, he founded the Southern California Community Choir. He also founded the Cornerstone Institutional Baptist Church in Los Angeles, California in 1970, where he served as pastor. Cleveland sponsored an annual gospel music convention, which for the first time brought together the best gospel performers in the nation on the same stage. The Gospel Music of America Workshop remains an institution to this genre. Reverend James Cleveland wrote several songs and recorded dozens of albums. He died of heart failure February the 9th, 1991 in Culver City, California. James Cleveland.
The Burning Hayes program is produced at NLEC TV right here at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. It's our new headquarters since they closed the 1411 Locust building. We're working to get back into that building. In addition to that, trying to help so many people through a wide variety of safe houses, training programs, transportation assistance, so many ways people are getting help because of all of you that are supporting the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. Now, if you'll send a gift of $25 or more, we want to send you this special, the Burning Hayes Show cup. And we're giving that to people as just a way of saying thank you. So when you send your gift, request a cup. We'll be happy to get it off to you. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. You can give online at nlecstl.org. Now I'm really asking all of you to join us in praying. The needs are so phenomenal at this particular time. So many hurting and homeless people are contacting us daily, but we're able to help them because of each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing at this time.
And welcome back. I'm Bernie Hayes. My guest is Dr. Alan K. Green. And also he's Reverend Alan Green, and he's former state representative Alan Green, Alan K. Green. Alan, once again, how can one reach you and support you if they wanted to?
Well, one of the things, again, is we put out there the phone number, which is 314-568-3851. And so you can call that particular number. Again, I'm in the St. Louis metro area here. One of the things that I also want to mention too, that we are putting the infrastructure together, as you mentioned, with the Twitter, the Facebook, and making sure that the website up and all of that information right there is being posted. It's info at Alan, A-L-A-N-K, Green, GREEN.com. And the website is www.alan, A-L-A-N-K, Green, GREEN.com. And so people can get in touch and leave messages and look up Alan Green.
And now, when is the election to be held?
What
date is the election?
The primary is actually in August of 2022 here, and the general election is going to be in November of 2022 here.
So it's important that they get to you in that August primary. Is that correct?
Yes.
Select you. What do you think you're going to face being an African American running statewide?
Well, first of all, it's uncommon. Very uncommon for an African American to run statewide, but very uncommon because the African American has never, ever won statewide. So over the years, of course, the party has been putting up various candidates from lieutenant governor, secretary of state, treasurer, different things like that, but we've never won. For this auditor position, this will be the first time that an African American is running for the auditor's position. And I hope to break that glass ceiling and win this position, which is something that has never occurred in the state of Missouri.
Will you be campaigning around Rolla and Springfield and all those areas?
Everywhere that we get invited. Last weekend I spent actually in the Kansas City area. If I get invited to Rolla, Springfield, Columbia, wherever I'm invited, we're going to send somebody there, or I will go there, or Saracate. You know, this is a big state, can't be everywhere that I need to be. And that's why it's so important to raise this money too, so we can be on TV, have commercials, have radio broadcasts, and all that kind of things, and opportunities to cross the state. This is a big state.
What would you like to say that's directly to the people right now as we speak?
Well, one of the things, again, is opportunity. You know, when we're talking about experience plus opportunity meets, again, it creates the luck. And that is very important. I also tell people, and somebody asked me, what is your tagline? I say, green survival, it depends on you. I'll say it again. Green survival, it depends on you. So go green.
Okay. You know, it's amazing also that the controller for the city of St. Louis is named Darlene Green. She's dealing with money, and you'll be the auditor dealing with money also, so you'll be oversighting all the wonderful things. And once again, we need to know how to reach you and connect you and support you.
Again, excuse me, my number is 314-568-3851. Again, I want to make sure that you have that information with the phone number. And then, of course, the website is going back to info. That'll be where you can email me, info at Alan, A-L-A-N-K, Green, GREEN.com, or the website is www.alan, A-L-A-N-K, Green, GREEN.com.
Mm-hmm. Are you ever referred to as Reverend Green or Dr. Green? Or what?
Yes, I get that because, you know, I'm in the ministry.
Yes.
Matter of fact, every morning, 5 days a week, I write a message, and I send that out among our congregation. And it's not so much inspirational, but I try to keep it related to the Bible. But I do throw some inspiration in there because sometimes people are going through some tough times. And here's the part that I love to say too, is that the piece that you mentioned to me that's very close to me, because I love the Lord. And I have to say that again. I truly love the Lord, and that's why I'm sitting here.
And Alan K. Green, Dr. Alan K. Green, Reverend Alan K. Green, I just want to say thanks again for coming out and spending some time with us. Have a great day and good luck on you in your campaign.
And I thank you.
So good to see you. And for those of you who've been supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center for so many years, we want to say thank you. But if you've not supported us in the past, it's so easy to do. Reverend Larry Rice has been here supporting you for more than 50 years. I'm Bernie Hayes. We're at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. That's New Life Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Perhaps you can bring by some food to make sandwiches or some waters or some other things that the folk could need. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day, and please stay safe and get your vaccinations.